Today, I talk about new Doze driving prevention system for professional long-distance drivers. Summary. This research, we invented the new Doze driving prevention system in 2009 in the laboratory. This time, we tested it in actual driving conditions. Results reasonably successful. This is what this presentation is all about. First, I quickly summarize what is the new Doze driving system is. We tested these following multiple conditions as this. If it works to prevent from Doze driving as following. First condition, vibration massage for finger. Results works as successful. The second conditions, high density oxygen as a spray can. Results works as successful. The third conditions, the fragrance of the grapefruit as aromatherapy. Results works as successful. Additionally, we tested all combined conditions as multi-stimulus conditions as best success by synergy effect. Such combined stimulus system is the new Doze driving prevention system. However, the previous experiment was in the university lab. So what about actual driving condition? So we did the comparisons, lab group, which is previous study, versus driving group. Lab group, total 6 male and female, average age is 21. Driving group, total 9 professional drivers, all male, average age 39. Experimental conditions. Lab group, university room, sitting comfortable chair. Driving group, actual driving in a big track. Prevention system stimulus. As a stimulus of the new prevention systems, acupressure points. Figure 1 as a finger is a major acupressure point. We use this machine called stress remover pulse, produced by a Home Ryan Research Institute. This vibrates to massage the place to touch. Prevention systems 2. A prevention stimulus 2. The high density oxygen. Inhalations of the high density oxygen could help increase levels of arousal and concentration as well as help recovery from fatigue by reactivations brain and body cells. This is a device and how to use. Prevention system stimulus 3. Fragrance effect. Citrus fruits had some effects of spiritual uplift and stimulate sympathetic nervous system and reduce stress. An aroma seeds of grape and a fruit flavor with spray mask was used to inhale the fragrance. This is a research procedure. Procedure 1. When a subject starts feeling some sleepiness, he or she uses the Doze driving prevention systems. Take SRP, low frequency massage on the hand of supporting steering and continue to keep grabbing and make pressure. It's possible to grab SRP and steering together around 5 minutes. Take O2 supply GF spray can on the hand not supporting the steering if driving and naturally inhale the high density of oxygen and its fragrance together. 4 push of the buttons could be about 10 seconds. Procedure 3. A subject turn off or put off devices and finish either one of the conditions of the experiments. In order to know the level of awakening, we need an arousal indicator as a measurement of human perceptual preferences about the Doze driving systems. Semantic differential method was invented by C.E. Osgood as a rating scale question method. It's able to measure connotative meaning of object, event, and concept as a research the semantic meaning of psychological constructs. Normally, 5 or 7 ratings are used for the SD method. the proper 7 adjective pair keywords from the feedback of the Doze driving prevention stimuli were created, such as arousal, sleepy, reliable, not reliable, feel good and bad, I arousal, I sleepy, energetic, tired, and change and same. In order to be consistent order of the bipolar adjectives, all positive keywords were set in the left side to be calculated as a positive numbers, and all negative keywords are right side. We categorize 3 of the 7 measures, such as positive responses +1, +2, +3, negative responses -1, -2, -3, and neutral as 0. Because relatively smaller sample size, the comparison cannot be expected by the statistically significant test, for example t-test. We tested 2 kinds of response categories, such as a ratio of positive response and a ratio of positive and neutral response were compared to each other. This is because when the ratio of positive and neutral categories were compared, a ratio of negative response was left off and could automatically be assumed from the group and the chart. Percentage of ST survey response. This is the results and just a score chart. Ratio of positive response +1, +2, +3. This is a graph to compare each questions between driving group and lab group. Interpretations, ratio of positive response. Same points lab and driving. 3 of 7 questions differences less than 15%. The category feel good and bad, change same, energetic and tired. About half of questions might be similar each other between the lab and the drivers. What is the different points between lab and the driving group? Driver's response 25% more reliable than lab. Lab subject response 36% eye arousal than drivers, 36% more relaxed than drivers, 18% arousal than drivers. Drivers tend to think it's more reliable than lab. Lab subjects tend to think more arousal and relaxed than drivers. It means, in summary, that different points between lab and driving. Drivers tend to think more reliable. Lab subjects tend to think more arousal, more relaxing. This is a graph of the ratio of positive response and neutral response, which is +1, +2, +3, and 0, to compare each question between driving group and lab group. The same points, lab and driving. 5 of 7 question differences less than 15%, such as feel good bad, change same, energetic tired, eye arousal sleepy, relax and irritate. Majority of questions might be similar between lab and drivers. Ratio of positive response and neutral. Again, and the drivers respond, it means drivers respond 25% higher reliable than lab. Lab subject respond 36% more arousal than drivers. So now I'm talking about the different points. Discussion. Positive and positive neutral between driving group and lab group. Summary of the same points lab and driving. 3 of 7 question differences less than 15%. Positive and neutral response. 5 of 7 question differences less than 15%. And these are the common points. Discussion 1. It means total 8 of 14 were less than 15% for, including neutral, positive response and positive and neutral response. More than half, about 60% categories were overlapped. It means lab group experiment could reasonably replicate in the driving group. Discussion: positive and positive neutral. Summary of interpretations of both group tendencies are both positive response and a neutral response showed. Driving group showed strongly about 25% higher evaluations for the reliable questions. So driver respond 25% higher reliable questions than lab for both. The reasons might be driving conditions might involve more realistic risk of accident, psychologically depend on the device to wake up physically. Interpretations of both group tendencies are both positive response and a neutral response showed. Driving group showed strongly 25% higher evaluations for the arousal. And the second, lab group showed almost 18 and 35% higher evaluations response for arousal related questions for both positive and neutral response. Discussion 2. Lab subject respond more arousal than drivers. The reasons might be lab conditions has sleepiness without fatigue. However, driving conditions has sleepiness with fatigue. Lab group subject sleepiness was produced by just sitting in a comfortable chair. However, driving group subject experienced already long hours driving with even more fatigue. That might be why lab group could feel awake easier than driving group, because of different activities during the time waiting for the feeling some sleepiness. Summary discussion. Many, which is both lab and drivers, answered a neutral response. And 20 to 40% of all questions, even though the neutral question chances are 1 out of 7, but 20-40% all questions in sets in the neutral. Cultural influence to preferred neutral standing. According to Furuhata 2002, such tendencies occurred very frequently for the survey response among Japanese people typically. This is because the culture influences many of Japanese people tend to answer neutral response and avoid extreme response. Their historical socialism and a traditional collectivism culture influenced them not to be outstanding among the communities they related to, such as friends, neighbors, classmates, and colleagues. There might be some weak points, such as smaller sample size, therefore non-statistical significant test. The level of positive or negative response could not be tested. Conclusions. Because of the similarity between the lab and the driving group subject survey, multi-stimulus dose driving prevention systems as a new system could be valid to actual driving conditions. Future study. Increasing the sample size and conducting the statistical significant test. A principal component analysis, both lab group and driving group data. Principal component analysis for later study in order to find main components of evaluations for the arousal effect from the both groups together. The level of stimulus change, massage level and fragrance level might influence the arousal level too. Thank you for listening to my presentation.